says crafting is a dying art? I'm finding crafters all over the Middle Tennessee area who make unique items that'll be passed down for generations to come. Welcome to HandMade Tennessee. I'm Kimberly Vance, along with my special guest today, Phyllis Womack. Hi,
hey,
Phyllis.
How are you?
Great. How about you?
I'm good.
Thank you for coming on today. We sure do appreciate you. You have brought us some of the most beautiful things. We were talking about rag rugs. And, you know, I remember seeing these like in my grandmother's house, my great-grandmother's house, but you don't see them as much now as you used to. And I feel like a lot of things like this are passing by the wayside, and we're going to make sure it doesn't, aren't we?
I hear that.
So you're going to show us the rag rugs today and how you do these.
Okay.
I'm very surprised at how easily you have made this seam. You make it seem very easy. And then a little bit later on in the show, you're going to show us how to make a towel hook. And this is really good.
That's this.
Oh, I love that. That is so cute. All right, so let's talk a little bit about your rag rugs. Now, this one right here, I think that's so funny. You said this one is over
10 years old. Yes.
Oh my goodness! And you just, when you get ready to, you just throw it in the washer. And
no, let's wear it. Let's wear it. The way you do it, and it's kind of heavy.
That's all right.
Okay. Get it dirty on one side, then turn it over, get it dirty on the other side, and put it in with your towels. This is not anything you have to worry about. Then when you take it out of the washer, put it in the dryer, let it dry for about, I'm going to say 25 minutes, 30 minutes, then take it out and stretch it out on top of your washer. And we don't want them to be totally dry, because that way you won't get the shape back in them. They'll kind of crunch up in the middle, because that's all cotton.
That's neat.
And I make them exactly the same as I've made them. Okay, and here's just another thing, a little ditty, is I'm always thinking about my car. I bought a new car, so I don't want the floor mats to wear out before I do. So I just make one that's not hardly so big, and put that in the floor of my car. I buy a really cheap little throw to go in the floor.
Those little plastic things.
And then I put this on top of it, and you'd be surprised how much dirt that'll catch, or the little tiny gravels. And that saves from having to get your carpet replaced.
That's a wonderful, wonderful idea, especially if you're planning on keeping the car for a little bit of time. Yeah. Oh, that's a great idea. I love that. And you said you even can make them in the square, but you prefer the circles.
You don't have to count.
I enjoy a brainless craft, that's for sure. Something I don't have to think too much about. And I love the colors on this, the springtime colors, just beautiful.
And we'll start, okay?
All right, tell us a little bit about it. Now, you said you prefer to use a cotton.
I like all cotton because I want something I can wash, something that's easy, okay? So when you start, you chain 5. Anybody knows how to crochet at all, they know they can chain 5, and that's simply, you make a little knot to put your needle through, and then you just take the needle, and I like a small needle. I don't like a huge needle, hurts my hands, okay? And when you get a little older, you'll find out, and when you're doing that, all you do is just go through and pull it through. It's supposed to be easy. Pull it through, and that's a chain.
So regardless of what size mat you're doing, you always chain 5.
I chain 5. Then I take that one, I go in the one on the end.
All right, and make you a circle.
And I make a circle. And as I was telling you, we leave a tail. Your tail is for the center. Like this one has a hole, and definitely it has a hole. But you can take this and weave it backward and forth over the hole, and then take your needle and thread and sew it. And that finishes you off.
See, that's a great idea, because it's like we were talking about in the washing machine before. I have had stuff come apart, and then you have to worry about how in the world you're going to fix it, because you've got the yarn or whatever, and you don't know where it's come from. So that's a very smart idea about sewing it. Now, what are you actually? What kind of fabric do you have? You've got a cotton.
This is all cotton.
Did you buy this on a roll like that?
Yes, I did. It's cut, comes from the factory. I don't know which factory, but I go to the flea market and I hunt the people down that have this material.
And it's just a roll of cotton?
It's just a roll of cotton.
And I think you said it was very inexpensive.
Yeah, it is, like really.
What flea market? Just any flea market that you go to?
I like the National Flea Market. I would like to go to Crossville, because I like to see all kinds of different stuff.
I love going to there.
And when you get to wanting to change colors, on the internet they have patterns that you can go get that have the basic round rug. But when you go to change your color, like this one, I did all the blue that was on one of those little rolls, and then you just lay it up here, fold it together, and then take your needle and thread and sew it.
And now you said, and this was a brilliant idea, and one that I'm certainly going to start doing, you sew it together so it does not come apart.
Yeah.
Because now I'm always on my other projects, I have always just knotted it.
Knotted.
And that doesn't last.
That was the way when I first started doing rugs, that was what we did. We just tied knots, and my mother was looking at me one day and she said, what's wrong with the needle and thread? And I thought, wow, right? That just went straight up to me. But like I said, it's basically as simple as you can get. Don't try to do, and this was a sheet.
A sheet. A cotton sheet. Now, how did you just rip it? Because it seems like kind of a curtain fabric, just a nice cotton.
It's an inch or an inch and a half, whatever you like to crochet with. I don't like anything that's any wider than that because it hurts my hands. And I'm going to say that's about an inch and a half.
Yeah. That's a nice width.
2 inches, and it's harder to pull through. And this was a skirt.
A skirt.
Mother had an old skirt that she didn't like, and so she just basically tore that in the shirt up. And if you can see the white spots, that's where we took the serger and sewed it together.
And made it, okay, very good.
And we didn't do the smart thing and use blue thread. We just did it with what we had.
Well, we'll say that you did this ahead of time for demonstrational purposes.
That will work. That is so wonderful.
Hey, there are no mistakes in crafting, right? All right, so that's a great idea because a lot of times I've got stuff that I just take apart with that I know I'm not going to wear. I'm not going to wear.
I'm not going to wear.
And nobody would have it because it's wore out.
Yeah.
So that's a fantastic idea.
And buttons. When we get a little further, the buttons.
I love buttons.
Oh, don't throw buttons away.
I love buttons.
But
all right, so tell us a little bit more then about the rag rugs here. Okay. So you sew your fabrics together when it comes time for you to change. Now, do you just kind of look at it and sort of decide what you're
No, I just kind of, if I'm going to make a pink one, or if whatever color I come to that I really like, and I can show you on this. Rugs are really easy because, like I said, I watch TV and I go through it once, okay, and then I put double my material together because I want my colors to come out.
Right.
And I just go through once, and then we go through once again.
All right.
And that's finished. Take your finger and pull it down, and that makes what we're going to go back in.
That's pretty. What kind of stitch is that? Does that have a name that you know of?
Phyllis.
A Phyllis stitch. All right, I like it.
But we go in the center, see? Right in the center, right there. Just go right down in there. And if you go real deep, that's fine because you're going to be filling in holes.
All right.
And that's the reason I go down. But I always make
okay.
And then do it a crochet. That's just one stitch.
Okay.
Okay, and then you do two.
And pull them two. Okay.
And then push them down. And that holds that really tight.
That's a beautiful stitch too. That's a very nice edge on that. That's a good looking edge.
And when I'm finishing mine, well, and this is something that I just do on my own. I do 5. I crochet 5 stitches. 1, 2, 3. We'll do 3 for right now.
Okay.
And then I count so many. Like if I want to go 2 stitches, then I come out here and do the same thing.
Oh, for your end.
Yeah.
For your fancy end.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that.
You don't have to be fancy, but I like the fancy
Why not?
end.
Yeah.
And then it's the same way all the way around the rug. You just do the 5 stitches. And if you want it, Liz, you could do 6. I mean, you can create anything in this you want to because you're doing it.
Yeah.
That makes it yours.
I love that. I was wondering how you got that edge on that.
Okay, well, just whenever you finish, as many rounds as you want to go. And as I get older, my rugs get smaller.
Do they?
The heavier they are, the harder they are to hold.
Yeah.
But usually I do from 17 to 20, and used to I did 25. But now and you've got to go with where you're going to put it.
And you're talking about the rows, right?
Yeah, I'm talking about
17-inch rows
and
now?
when you're counting your rows, you look, and I go, here I am. I've got 1 row. That was my beginning row. And then I'm going 2, 3, 4, all the way out. And whenever you get out here and you're to about 20, that's a good size right in front of your commode, right in front of your tub. And that's too big for your car, though. You need to kind of, if you're going to make one for your car, it doesn't need to be over 15 because you don't want anything that's going to be so heavy your husband's going to take it out of the car and throw it on the ground and say, that's in my way.
Yeah, no, we don't want that.
No. but where your grandchildren are going to be, when you're entering a door, if you've got a porch that doesn't get wet, these are perfect. I mean, that will just save your carpet totally. Going between rooms, I found out that going between rooms, I get more dirt. And I don't know, it don't come in from outside, but right in that little hallway spot, and you can put that.
And it'll collect it.
And it keeps your carpet from wearing on both sides.
That's fantastic. What a great idea. And then when you're finished, you just do your outside fancy chain if you want, your loop there, and then just finish it off.
Or you can use this. That right there can be your finish if that's what you want it to be.
I love that. That is just
But always,
beautiful.
don't forget your needle and thread. When you finish, you have to finish with the needle and thread.
Well, you know, this will take you, what, a minute, maybe 2 minutes to sew those together? So, I mean, the time that you're going to save in the long run is going to be well,
and you don't have to
worth
worry
it.
about it raveling out then.
Right. Oh, that's awesome. Fantastic. All right, now show us your little things you've made here. I love these. These are so cute.
Okay, well, this is even easier. This is a towel holder, and this comes apart and fits on your stove door. And you just open it up, put that on your stove, flip it over, button it.
Cute.
And with all crocheted pieces, the thing is, you don't throw them in the washer. There's no sense in throwing this in the washer. When you're getting ready to wash dishes, before you get any dishes in there, take this and put it in the water, swish it 2 or 3 times, get the grease off of it, lay it on on the towel, let it dry, put it back on your stove, and it doesn't ruin.
Oh, that's a great idea.
And you've saved your towels, and you don't have to worry about them.
See, we were talking, it's like you and I were talking before, a lot of folks will take the towel and cut the towel, and there's nothing wrong with that, but it does, I like
they
this
wear
much
out
better.
so quick, though. And if your towel wears out, just, you know, use
Replace the towel.
Well, no, I take mine outside and put it in the car so I can wash my windows with it.
Excellent idea. Boy, you were not kidding when you said you don't waste anything.
I don't waste anything.
I'll follow you around.
Okay, we're gonna do one of the towel rings, and it is 18. You chain 18.
Okay.
And I showed you the easy way to start. Okay, just put it through your fingers. Go here, and then go back through this little hole you're holding on the bottom, and that holds your knot in place. And you don't have to worry about your knot coming out if you're not too old and you can't figure out how to get the knot. But you pull it real tight, and then you chain 18. And when you go 18, then you...
Man, you're fast.
Well, anyway, you go back, when you get to 18, you connect it together right here. There's always going to be a place where you can see where you've done it.
Did you just do a slip stitch? Okay.
Okay, and then when you pull it up, exactly the same way we did the rug, I go through it once, and then I go through it twice, the thread that I've brought out. And it makes me a line to go by. And you can make these big, you can make them little. This one only has like 1 ring around it, where that one has 2. And I actually have some that I've done as many as 5 on, but you don't have to. It's not necessary to make them super big because you're just going to be hanging them on the stove.
That's cute. Those are so cute. I love those. These are a fantastic idea. Now, what do we do after that then?
Oh, okay.
You make your ring.
You make your ring, then you start.
Like I say, as wide as you want it.
You can make it as wide as you want it, narrow as you want it. If you want something that's just simple, easy, you can even do it one time. But I like it where it kind of shows a little bit. And then you start with, when you're going up, it's just exactly like making your rug. What we're going to do is we're going to go through it 1 time, 2 times, come down here to I do it 7 times across. Okay.
So that's a good width, 7 stitches. All right.
That's a good width. Okay, and then I do an extra stitch on the end and come up, crochet a back across.
Okay.
7,
An
7,
extra
7.
stitch. And then, okay.
Okay, and we get to my little fancy stitches on the end, and sometimes I use that to put my button through.
I saw that on this one. That's cute.
It's easier to do it through the button because the button hole's a little bit bigger. But
That's
and you can, if you want to, you can leave a hole, and some of them I do. You can leave a hole to put your button through. But don't ever throw anything away. Go to your husband's suits. When they wear out, get those old buttons off that suit. They're bigger. They'll go through these holes easier, and you don't have to go pay $4 or $5 for a button.
Buttons are outrageous now.
That are pretty. See the pretty buttons? And they actually came off a belt.
Oh, you're kidding.
But you can go to, I mean,
anywhere and just find them.
Yeah.
That's
just
a great
old
idea.
Buttons.
Oh,
So-
that's a fantastic idea.
And we're up to granny squares.
Okay.
Everybody should know how to make a granny square, but I'm probably sure they don't. It's easy.
I don't know how to make a granny square. I'm embarrassed to say.
Granny squares are 5 again. That's 4. This is 5. You go back through the end. If I could get, there it is. Okay.
The end that you started
The
with?
end, no,
Or the
the
other
end, the end you start with. You go
Okay.
back through that. Then you go 1, 2, 3. Okay. Then you go back through that little bitty tiny hole you have. You have to excuse me for a minute
All right.
and get my glasses. but you go back through this hole we started with, and you go 1, 2. Okay. And what we're going to do is we're going to make a flower petal. And that's your first petal right there, those 3. Then you go hole 1, 2, 3. I have to do basic. And then you do the 3 again. And I wish I had one of these already done. It would be easier.
Oh, that's cute, though. I'm glad to see how you're doing it.
And then 1, 2, 3 again. And that gives you, this is going to give you your first center flower petal. And, okay, one more. And always leave a tail. That's what I was telling you earlier, was to always leave that tail, because that tail is going to help you fill that middle in. And even when you're making dish rags, when you're making anything, you always need that little tail to fill your middle in. And these granny squares are the easiest thing in the world to do. And 1, 2, 3. Okay, and then you go back to the single stitches that you started with right there.
All right.
Put that through, and then do 1, 2, 3 again. And we've made our first granny square.
See, now how'd you do that? I was standing right here, and I still don't know how you did it. All right, I'm going to have a private lesson
Private lesson, okay. And then you're making your granny square bigger, so you do those same 3 that we did to start with.
That is so cute.
And then you add 3. See, when you add, you're making it bigger. Okay. And with the rugs, every once in a while, you'll have to add a stitch so it won't turn into a cup.
Right.
So
yeah, so it don't bowl up like that.
Okay.
Yeah, do you have a formula for these? You just add a stitch whenever you need one?
I just add a stitch when it starts getting round. Sometimes it'll start cupping up.
Right.
And you add a stitch. But usually it's, and then you add a stitch here between. Okay, and then you go back to your 3 again. And it's just actually that simple. And people say, oh, I can't make an Afghan, I can't make an Afghan. But I have to have something that I don't really have to count a whole bunch. So this is my Afghans. And if I have anything left, then I turn in and do my baby dolls. Because all the little girls have grandchildren, and they all have to have
little baby doll blankies.
Got to have
so
a
cute.
for the baby doll. And that's just simply a big granny square.
This is a big granny square.
That is it, and that's what.
You did not sew granny squares together.
No.
Oh, I like that.
And this is a big granny square. That is just around and around and around. You don't have to count.
That is
You
gorgeous.
just keep adding stitches.
Now, can you do the granny square with your rag rugs?
No, your material's too thick.
Okay.
It's too heavy. I've tried because I like.
Not work.
I like the easier it gets, the better I like it. But this is
beautiful.
This is for your dish rag, and you can use they have a thread that's called peaches and cream.
Yeah.
It's heavier than that. And I actually brought one of those, but that's okay. I'm not wild about them because they hold water more than the regular.
The peaches and cream. I think this is peaches
and cream.
Yeah.
But now that holds water a little bit too much for me to wash dishes with. But
well, you have to really grip them.
But with that washes skillets so good.
This does, and this is just like a number 10 Aunt Lydia's or something.
And I don't think Aunt Lydia makes it anymore. I think it's done by a pattern company. And if you get one stitch too many in here, this is not really going to count either, because see, you can already tell it's going to be a square.
Oh, that's sharp. Yeah, I'm going to have to figure that out.
Did you see how hard this is?
Well, you make it look so easy.
And I hadn't thought about it for years until I talked to you. When I was a child, my granny would save bread sacks. We would do, and she would tear them or cut them, and we would sit, and she kept 7 children. And my granddaddy had fixed us all a little crocheting needle. And we would sit on the steps and take our crocheting needle and...
Was it made out of wood?
Yeah, of course.
I've got one. It's carved like that. That's neat.
But anyway, we would take it, and at night she would take and braid them together and sew a little stitch through them. And every for Easter or for Mother's Day or for Christmas, we always had something to give to our mama that we had made.
That's
so I mean, you know, it made such a difference. But now
I've got a little basket that when I was a small child, our neighbor, he was an older man. He seemed like he was 100 back then, and he made me a little basket out of bread wrappers, and I've still got that.
But that's, I mean,
We don't do stuff like that anymore. Bread wrapper comes along, you throw it away.
Well, I got on the internet because they have a round rug like mine. Their system is so complicated. They want you to take a stitch here and take a stitch here, and I thought I could never learn how to crochet if I had to go by that, you know, what they had. But it is so basically simple, and just like this only has to be a few stitches bigger, and you can put it on your dining room chairs, your kitchen chairs, and if you're worried about how to tie it on, just take a piece of your material, and these stretches go right through there. There's your tie on. You put 4 of these so that you can tie it around all 4 legs, and then just make you a simple bow. And then when it gets dirty, take it off, and you've not ruined your chair cover.
Yeah, that's a great idea.
So I mean, the crocheting is really, it's not hard. Anybody can do it, but don't try to make it complicated.
Well, you can overthink stuff.
Yeah.
That's for sure.
But, well, I don't really guess I overthink very much.
You don't have that problem?
No.
That is so neat.
But
All
like I
right, so
said,
your granny square, then you just continue to get bigger and bigger.
yeah, it's
Oh, that's
just,
neat. Now, is that what this is also?
that's a granny square. It's just the size material you use.
Man. And so you like these as dishcloths better?
Yeah, I do.
Those are so
and you can notice
pretty.
the size.
Different
This
sizes?
one is a different size. It's a little bit
It's a good size.
tighter. And I've got some that I put as
beautiful.
many as 20 stitches in them. I've got some I don't put very many. I think this one's got 16. But on the finish up with this, it's almost exactly the same as on here. You just go through every one of your last stitches and ended up with these 2 little stitches. And that's your finishing stitch.
That's
Because
so
if you
pretty.
really look, you can see in the inside right here.
That's that real pretty
That's
stitch
your
you
real
used
pretty
right here.
stitch that we used to start with.
Yeah. That's neat.
So-
I know on the ones that I do with the worsted or the cotton, I use about 21 stitches,
Yeah.
and that's a pretty good size.
Yeah.
I
But-
like these. I'm going to try that. I'm going to try these.
Here we go
next.
again. There's your stitch.
Oh, that's beautiful.
So-
Show us some more of the things that you brought for us.
Well, I just basically that was what I brought was just the towels and and like I said, these are just things that I had left over. If I'm doing a baby Afghan or I've got anything left over, like I had just enough to do the center, and then I had just that much of the blue, and sometimes you'll find that I don't go all the way around before I stop. I don't know if any of them here have that. I stopped.
I
I was trying to
haven't
be.
noticed
I was trying to be real special because I didn't. Well, here's one. See how I had extra stitches and it doesn't exactly match right there? See, I was just a little bit off, and I could have pulled it down here and got it real tight, and then it would have been harder to come back in. So you want it easier where you can keep it that way.
Yeah. See, I hadn't noticed that was a little bit short until you said that.
And with this one, I even did different colors. I said, I'm going to keep this one all pink. And I had just that much. And so I got some yellow in there. This is a rag rug. It's not meant to be perfect. And when your eyes get old, this is supposed to be blue. And as you can see, it's orange.
Now, did you think that was blue when you were putting
No,
it
I
on?
thought it was pink.
It's beautiful.
It's after dark when I'm crocheting.
Hey, you might ought to quit watching the TV just a little bit.
No,
No,
I thought it was pink. It's orange.
I'm teasing you. That's beautiful. It looks like you meant to be. That's the good thing about crocheting and crafts like these. There aren't many mistakes.
Well, if anybody notices, I was going to say, hey, I did that on purpose.
I
Hey,
meant to do
I
that.
really like that little white dot that was in there.
Did you notice that one little thing? I
Yes, I
did that on purpose. Now, is this one, are you going to make this one bigger? It looks
Yes.
like you've left these both where you can still
I
continue to
did.
work on them.
Yeah.
But now, I guess you ran out of fabric here?
Yeah,
Okay.
that was where it ended.
And
See,
so then you'll start something else. And
Yeah.
sew something to
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
that's a fantastic idea to sew that.
Yeah.
Now I like the idea too of your old sheets and stuff.
Yeah.
See, now I had not thought about that.
Well, no, they're cotton, and they'll get thin, but this won't make any difference if it's thin or not. But like I said, you have to remember, these are cotton. You can wash them in the washer. These are not. These are made out of, some of them are even made out of wool, where I'm concerned, because I'm going for the color. If you throw this in the washer, you've ruined it.
Yeah.
Take it to your dishwater, take it to your sink and wash it out, and then lay it out on the towel and let it dry. And you've totally saved the whole thing. It's not like where we used to throw the whole towel in the washer.
Right.
But this, I'd say a couple of hours, you can put that right back on your stove and show them how easy it is to take it out.
That's what I like about it.
You just take it out.
Super simple.
And then you can just put a clean towel back in right on your stove. You don't have to take this off the stove as many times. But I did one of mine the other day, and I really got tickled at myself. I'd let it hang there, and I had a little grease. Of course, I'm not nasty or nothing, but I had gotten grease on it from just like frying. And so I took this, and I took it to the sink, and I even had to let it pre-soak. I had let it, because I think I was making pancakes or something, but I had grease right on the top of it. But I did a little pre-soak on it with my dishwash, let it lay there, and then I washed it out. And I couldn't believe, if that had gone through the washer,
it would have ruined it.
I had to throw it away. But this just made it that I didn't have to do that.
Oh, that is so neat. That is so fun. Well, Miss Phyllis, what if we don't feel like we can pull these off ourselves? Where can we get in touch with you?
Well, you can get in touch with my answer machine.
Okay.
And it's 931-473-3938.
All right. Very good.
And I will call you back. Won't guarantee it'll be that day, because certain days I don't answer the phone, because I probably don't even do anything but watch TV.
You're closed on certain days, right? We'll say you shut down.
I go to Walmart.
Go shopping.
Yeah.
You have to go replenish your supplies.
Oh,
right?
yeah, I've got supplies already. Let's don't replenish anymore.
Well, thank you very much for bringing all this
I'm
stuff
glad
in.
you
Give us another real quick little peek of some of the stuff we didn't get to see.
Okay.
'Cause these are absolutely gorgeous.
Well, all these are
all
is just
sizes and everything.
And we didn't talk about this either. This is a smaller one, and I do these for the car seats. You don't want to put that big one in a car seat, because it's going to be in your way. It's going to be, with all those straps and stuff, it's going to be in your way. Get something smaller and just something that hugs right around your baby.
That's
and particularly summertime, you don't want anything heavy. This is just something you can even keep in the car seat. Or if you don't want to put your child right in the seat at Walmart, take this in and put that in the seat first.
Well, thank you very much, dear. I
You're
sure
welcome.
appreciate it.
Oh, I enjoyed meeting you so much.
You too. Well, that's our show for today. Thank you very much to our special guest, Miss Phyllis Womack. Thank you, Miss Phyllis. If you'd like to get in touch with us, you can email us at handmadetn@bltv.net, or you can like us on Facebook at HandMade Tennessee. I'm Kimberly Vance, and I hope that you've been inspired to create your own HandMade Tennessee. If you enjoyed today's show, check us out on Facebook for other shows and information at www.facebook.com/HandmadeTennessee. You can also email us your comments or suggestions to handmadetn@bltv.net.